Okay, Cleo, you ready? Okay. So I'm currently a first year master's student for clinical mental health counseling at Lenore Ryan University in Asheville, North Carolina. Lenore Ryan's clinical mental health counseling program is accredited by the CACREP program, which is where you want to be accredited by, because otherwise you can't really practice counseling that well. So upon completion of my degree, I plan to pursue a licensure as a licensed clinical mental health counselor associate. So that means that I will have a supervisor that oversees me and this will be through the North Carolina Board of Licensed Clinical Mental Health Counselors, which is who you want to make sure that you're getting all your ducks in a row. All right. And I also plan to get certification as a national certified counselor through the NCC. Okay. Okay. And through the National Board for Certified Counselors. Just want to try to get as nationally accredited as I possibly can. And through my graduate studies, I am developing a strong foundation in counseling theory, ethics, and evidence-based practice. My coursework and upcoming practicum and internship experiences will also further prepare me to work with diverse populations to support emotional well-being, resilience, and personal growth. As I've stated, I am currently pursuing licensure as a licensed clinical mental health counselor associate in the state of North Carolina. So I'll be doing this through the North Carolina Board of Licensed Clinical Mental Health Counselors, which I mentioned before. Because you have to get licensed, statewide to be able to practice in the state. And then you also want to get nationally certified as well. But the state certification is really important. That's what you need. And my clinical supervision is provided by Dr. Kelly Moore Spencer. She's got so many accreditations. She'll be overseeing my counseling practice to ensure that ethical and professional standards are maintained. Dr. Spencer can be reached by her phone number, which is listed on the document, and then or by email, which is listed as well. And you'll get a copy of this to sign. Okay, Cleo? So as a graduate student in clinical mental health counseling at Lenore, I'm in the early stages of developing my professional counseling identity and clinical skills. Okay. Through my coursework and training, I am gaining foundational knowledge in counseling theories and ethical practice and evidence-based techniques. Yeah. And this will be able to allow me to support diverse clients in achieving emotional growth and well-being. I'm almost done. Okay. You're being such a great listener. Thank you for listening to me. You've been so good. My developing counseling philosophy centers on the belief that a strong therapeutic relationship is the foundation for positive change. I view counseling as a collaborative process built on empathy, authenticity, and respect for each individual's unique experience and perspectives. Cat specters. I am interested in working in the community mental health setting with adolescents and young adults, particularly in group-based environments where I can incorporate, humanistic, person-centered approaches and focus on relational dynamics. I'm also eager to gain experience in play therapy while working with younger children and pre-adolescents. Looking ahead, in the future, I am definitely interested in continuing to expand my clinical approach by integrating Jungian theory and internal family systems, although that's definitely in the future. I would like to focus more on community health-based settings primarily once I get my degree. Um, and that would be whenever I transition toward working with older adults in individual counseling settings later in my career, as I said. These approaches emphasize empowerment, collaboration, and the belief that clients Possess the capacity for growth and self-directed change. That's a big, big belief of mine. As my training progresses, I will continue to expand um, my areas of competence through supervised practicum and internship experiences, focusing on applying these theories and techniques in ways that are responsive to each client's cultural background, strengths, and goals. So, session fees and lengths of service. Since I am currently in the process of completing my graduate level training, I do not charge fees for counseling sessions. All services are provided under supervision as a part of my academic requirements. During practicum, internships, session length, frequency, and payment procedures will follow the policies of the placement site. Clients will be informed in advance of session details, including duration, scheduling, and any applicable fees once information becomes relevant. So, use of diagnosis. As a counselor in training, I do not independently provide formal mental health diagnoses in any way. So, any diagnostic impressions made during practicum or internship will be completed under the supervision of a licensed clinical mental health licensed clinical supervisor, um, in accordance with site policies. So, diagnosis definitely not something I will even dabble in. Always open to talk about anything you're thinking, but I am not able to give a licensed diagnosis at this time. But yeah, and when appropriate, diagnostic information may be discussed with clients, of course, like I said, to support understanding and treatment planning, but no formal diagnosis. Confidentiality. I'm committed to maintaining client confidentiality and upholding all ethical and legal standards of the counseling profession. Information shared with the counseling relationship will be confidential, included in a clinical record accessible upon request. Because I am a student counselor, a licensed clinical supervisor may review case notes or recordings for oversight and training purposes. Identifying details will be protected and discussed only within supervision. Exceptions to confidentiality include situations involving written client consent or disclosure, risk of harm to self or others, suspected abuse or neglect of a child, elder, or dependent adult, or court order requiring release of information. Outside these circumstances, your privacy will be fully respected, Cleo. You hear me? Completely. You are encouraged to discuss any concerns you have with me. You may file a complaint against me with the organization that is in this document at the bottom. Okay. If you feel I'm in a violation of any of these codes of ethics, I abide by the ACA Code of Ethics. Okay. And any other problems, please contact my supervisor, Dr. Kelly. Okay. You'll have her phone number and email in the PDS that you're about to sign. All right. Do you have any questions, Cleo, about anything that I reviewed? I know I kind of sped through that, and I didn't summarize it too much, but I wanted you to get all the information. No questions? Does that sound good? All right. You ready to sign your kitty paw print? All right, cool.